Hello readers and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Katie Ward and I'm an award-winning self-published author. My debut novel, The Pretender, was a top 30 YA bestseller on Amazon. And if you've seen my previous video, you might note the change in my hair. That is because I'm not sure if we're going to go into lockdown again. There is kind of talk about it. My area is quite high for the dreaded virus going around, and so I wanted to make sure if we do that I have got hair that is as close to my natural colour without being as boring as my natural colour, so that it will grow out nicely, because the first time, trust me, I wanted to do these videos before but I just couldn't until I got my hair done because it was so bad. So like many others, I think I'm trying to avoid that happening again. So in this video, I wanted to talk to you about my second upcoming novel. I know I've talked a lot about my debut novel, so I thought perhaps this time I will give you a little insight into what's coming next and give you a little bit of information about my second novel, Red Roses. The thing that really makes Red Roses special to me is that this was my very first ever novel idea. So just after I'd finished university in my early 20s, I came up with this idea. Well, I came up with a semblance of an idea at first, and I was really excited because I don't know if anyone who is really wanting to be a writer comes up with an idea that they're really excited about and really like, this is the best idea, and even if it isn't the best idea at that point, you will think it is because you're really excited about it. So I took this idea to my then boyfriend and said, what about this? This sounds fantastic. What do you think? And it was kind of straightforward story at that point. And he was like, yeah, it's all right, average. And I was so offended. I was like, how dare you? But he was right. At that point, I had just come up with pretty much a bog standard story that didn't really have any kind of twists and turns or pretty much anything that was kind of make it stand out. So I sat there ruminating on it, and a song came on by one of my favorite artists called Muse, and it was called Time Is Running Out. And there was this little line in it where it kind of goes, I won't let you smother it, I won't let you murder it, time is running out. And I was just like, murder? And it planted the seed in my mind about turning my then generic novel into a tragedy, into a story that is aligned more closely with the classic tragedy novels such as Woman in White, Wuthering Heights, and Romeo and Juliet. There is a really interesting, foreboding darkness that runs throughout the entire novel. That is what I'm trying to emulate with Red Roses. And so I came up in that moment with this whole new story. I call back my boyfriend and I literally tell him my new story, and he is like, oh my God, that's really good. I think over history, tragedies, the classic tragedy trope, if you like, has become synonymous with being miserable. But Red Roses, I hope, will change that, because the thing about Red Roses is that it isn't miserable. It's a story of hope. It's a story of love. It's a story of friendship. It's of chasing your dreams and realizing what you want in your life. However, it just has a very tragic ending. But the main emphasis is that just because it has a tragic ending, does that invalidate everything? Does that mean that the protagonist shouldn't have followed her dreams because it ended with her death? Because if she hadn't followed her dreams, it may not have ended with her death in that way, but would she have been any happier? She would have had a longer life, but would that have made her any happier? So this is the kind of themes that Red Roses is going to deal with. It's going to deal with life and what it means to be successful in life and what it means to be happy in life. So as I said, this was a story I had an idea on from a very young age. And at that point, I was living obviously in Devon, like I do now. And I was a bit fed up, let's just say that, of living in Devon. It's a small area. It's really lovely, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to go a bit further afield, like most young people my age do. And I wanted to experience life outside what I knew, without all of the kind of security of my family who can help me and support me. So I decided to move to Dublin. And before I moved to Dublin, Red Roses was set in London. That was where I was going to set it because it's within the acting world, and I thought, well, London is where it has to be. However, when I moved to Dublin, I thought, no, I want to have my character experience the same things that I was experiencing in settling into a whole new place, being completely out of her comfort zone and having to find her way in the world. And I also wanted to make sure that the success that my character achieves is not what is necessarily seen as success, because I didn't want her to become a top international Hollywood star, because that's what everyone would expect success to look like. I want her to live by her dreams and what she wants, but in a way that shows that you don't have to be the top of everything to be successful in life. And that is a really important message that runs through Red Roses, is that if you are doing something you love, if it gives you great satisfaction, then you are successful, and that success is almost as much a feeling as it is material things to show for it. So Red Roses starts by telling you on the very first page that Autumn Sutherland, the protagonist in the story, is dead and has died 6 months previously. It also tells you on that very first page that this story starts at the exact moment Autumn made the decision that would ultimately lead to the loss of her life. And I wanted to go down that route and have that specific set of time, because we live our lives each day making decisions and we don't think about what we do. We don't know really when we get in the car whether we'll get out of it at the other end. So many people don't. And I just wanted to kind of look at that very, very unconscious, very innocent decision that is made. And it isn't a case where she's making a really bad life choice. You know, we know that in certain situations, if you make a really bad life choice, then obviously a bad outcome. But there's so many things that aren't that black and white that can still lead to a bad outcome. And I wanted to look at that from her perspective, look at a situation where she's made a decision that she thinks is going to really enhance her life, that's really exciting for her, and just watch her as she follows it to its end conclusion. And it also adds a very sinister edge to it from the very start, which, like I've said before, with the classic tragedy, has that, you know, very dark theme running throughout the novel. So for me, I wanted to let the reader know right up front exactly where this is going to end, so that they are aware. You're reading this story knowing that she's dead, and all of the things that she goes through and all of the subplots that come through and all of the things that happen. You know, at times you're going to be like, I can't believe that she's going to die. Like, all the way you're going to know it. And it's going to be really hard at times to know that information. And that is where hopefully it will pull you in 100 different ways emotionally and really make you resonate with this character, to help you get to know the character in a more intimate way. Because for me, with my writing, the main thing I want to achieve is for my readers to be close to my characters. I know it isn't something that necessarily all writers do, and that's fine. But for me, I like, as I always kind of say, I like my readers to be my characters' best friends. And that works really well in this kind of a story, I think. The thing about this storyline within Red Roses is that although in this story it is a tragedy because she will die sooner than she should, the point is actually it's life. We are taking this same journey as my character will. We are born, we walk through our lives until the end. And some people will have long lives, some people will have short lives, and some people will have no life at all. And that is tragic. That is a tragedy. So Red Roses isn't a tragedy made up in literature that I've just pulled out of my head. The story as it plays out on the pages, very much of my imagination. But that actual situation is life. It is pure life. And I think that's what makes Red Roses so exciting for me, is that I'm taking a part of my character's life and presenting it to you guys as fiction, but really we are doing the exact same thing every single day as that character on those pages, which adds an even more sinister edge, really, because you know, you will understand when reading it exactly where she's coming from, exactly how she felt in the moment, because you will be doing in parts of your life the exact same thing. And that kind of mirroring of my character and my readers, I really, really like that, because people can resonate with it. We can all know how it feels to want more. And I say, obviously, parts of this come from my life, and you know, I certainly felt very, you know, dejected before I moved to Dublin, and I wanted a change. But so will so many other readers have had that exact same position. Maybe some would have stayed, maybe some would have done what I did and moved completely and changed things. And that's the beauty of this story, is that so many people will resonate, because ultimately it's life. This story is romance, it is friendship, it's hope, it's living your dreams, but ultimately this is a story about life, and it is a story about death. So readers, based on what I've told you about my upcoming novel, Red Roses, what do you think? Do you think that this is a story that you would like to read? Is it something that makes you excited? Do you like the viewpoint of getting to know the reader in a much more intimate way? Some people will love that and some people won't. You know, that's the thing about literature. What speaks to one won't speak to another. But what do you think? Is this something that you would look forward to, that you would like? And if not, or you would, put it down in the comments box below and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for joining me again on another video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will keep you posted on Red Roses' progress. I am just finishing the first draft, and as soon as it's finished, I will start the process of self-publishing once again. And like I've said in a previous video, I am going to document that process for you to show you exactly what it takes to self-publish a book, what goes into it, the highs, the lows. So do keep posted for information on my upcoming novel, Red Roses, if you are interested in wanting to read it. But also, if you're interested in the actual process, then also keep tuned, like and subscribe to this video so you don't miss any. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Don't forget to add comments below. I would also like to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.